Welcome to the Vibrantly You podcast. We're your hosts, Megan Martineau
and Caitlin Cipriano. In this podcast, we talk about fitness and nutrition on your motherhood journey. Whether you are trying to conceive, pregnant, postpartum, or beyond, you are welcome here.
Nothing is off limits, and our goal is to support you in this important season of life so that you can feel vibrantly you. As a reminder, this information is not medical advice. Please see the show notes for more details.
Welcome back to the Vibrantly You podcast. This is your co-host, Caitlin, perinatal nutrition expert and mom of two. Today, I'm just going to be sharing a little bit about my own personal journey and how I got to the place that I am at now. And honestly, even talking about this feels like a little bit of a pinch me moment, because 2016 version of Caitlin would probably not believe that I am here right now, So I'm going to go way back. I am going to start this in high school, because that is really where this journey started and began. So I played sports all through high school, but I specifically was a basketball player, and I played through college. And in high school, though, I started having ankle sprains. And my junior year, I had a really bad ankle sprain. And so I had to go to have physical therapy for it. And that really just opened my eyes into the world of sports medicine. And I went on to shadow an athletic trainer. I lived in the Upper Valley area of Vermont, and so we were very close to Dartmouth College. So I shadowed an athletic trainer at Dartmouth College my senior year of high school, and I started applying as an athletic training major, and I went on to start that journey at Castleton State College, and I ended up transferring to the University of Vermont, and I finished my undergraduate degree there with a bachelor's in athletic training and a minor in nutrition at that time. And I had wonderful experiences and wonderful professionals in my undergraduate career that really, I think, shaped who I am as a healthcare practitioner, because I do think of myself of that first and foremost. And I worked as an athletic trainer. I worked in orthopedic setting, high school settings, in the early parts of my professional career. And it wasn't until 2 years into working at high school, I started working on my master's degree in nutrition. I did not know what I was going to do with it at that time, but I knew I wanted to keep learning, and I had loved all of the nutrition courses I took in my undergrad. Like I said, I had my minor in nutrition too, and so I finished up my master's in 2018, and I also I got married in that time frame, and then I had my son at the height of the pandemic. I had him in March 2020, and now I'm filming this in March 2026. So that feels like also another little full circle moment here. But I knew a good amount, but my knowledge of nutrition at that time was very much like general scope, general population, sports, sport specific nutrition, and not necessarily like pregnancy, postpartum related nutrition. And there were some things that I especially experienced postpartum after having my son. I've talked about this in previous episodes with my birth story with him and scattered throughout. But I had a postpartum hemorrhage and postpartum infection with him. And so there were some things that I ended up learning that really helped serve me nutritionally going through that experience, because I'd had blood loss, because I had to be on antibiotics that really wiped out my gut. There were things nutritionally that I didn't know that I had to learn going through that experience, that in hindsight would have been super helpful, right? We always end up, I think, becoming who we needed, right? And so after having him, I ended up diving so heavily into wanting to support other moms. And how I knew how to do that at the time was through nutrition. And with COVID, the plan that I had for myself, work-wise, professionally, did not pan out happening the way it was supposed to. I was going to go back to my full-time role as an athletic trainer and also doing nutrition coaching and personal training on the side, with the goal of eventually working full-time in the at the gym that I was working at part-time. I was hoping to transition to that full-time after I had had my son, and he was going to go to daycare and, the whole thing. That plan did not happen. I did not go back to my high school job. I tried to transition to the gym, and with COVID, they ended up having to let me go. The owner, later on also sold the gym, and so I was at a place in, I want to say it was November, maybe somewhere in October through November of 2021, was unemployed. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had gotten let job from kind of my backup plan, my transition job. And what I said was, I really love supporting moms. I want to do more of that. And I specifically really want to do it in the nutrition space, because I want to help women have a better relationship with food. And I also want to support them navigate the challenges and roller coaster rides of becoming pregnant, also helping them support themselves through pregnancy, or becoming pregnant, and postpartum. So I launched my business, Wholesome Huntress Nutrition, and I specifically started a group coaching program, Nourish to Flourish. That is my OG program. It's going through some iterations right now. You can check out the wait list. It's going to become a self-paced course. But it's those kinds of things that I think about, because 2016 version of Caitlin wanted nothing more to figure out how to work from home so that she could be with her kids. That was like my goal. I wanted to figure out how to do that. I had attempted some other things on that journey and couldn't quite crack the code. But I was determined that I could do that, and I was going to figure out how to do that. And then kind of like the online coaching space really blew up. I worked as an independent contractor for some other businesses doing nutrition coaching, and I still do that too. And I have my business And I also am a maternal health advocate in the state of Vermont and working on projects through the state. I have recently also partnered with the Vermont Doula Company to help support their clients with nutrition. And I am just like so happy to be able to support moms, help them feel seen and heard, help them feel well nourished, so they can have more joy on their motherhood journey. And that's my mission. So, thank you for listening to this today. I'll have a few things linked in the show notes that you can check out if you want to learn more about my current offerings. Otherwise, I hope to see you next week with Meg and I both chatting. And please share this podcast and our mission to help support moms. We'll see you back next week.